Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Keller Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage. Well, you knew it couldn't last. In Washington, D.C., the mayor now, Muriel Bowser, backtracking on her support for the president sending in the National Guard. Initially, she was open to it. Now it's leftist speaking points, an authoritarian push, she's saying. So she did a 180-degree pivot. This is a time where community needs to jump in. And we all need to do what we can in our space, in our lane, to, oh man, these people all talk the same way. When do I ever ask you, any of you, let's stay in our lane. We need our community in our lane. Oh man, the way these folks talk. Anyway, she said to protect our autonomy, to protect our home rule. See, I think that ought to be done away with. I think Washington, D.C. should no longer have home rule. So we'll see. We'll see. I think we'll see where it goes. But she said, protect our home rule, get to the other side of this guy, make sure we elect the Democratic House so we have a backstop to this authoritarian push. Oh, man, so now it's all federal politics. She's talking about statehood. We got to make Washington, D.C. a state. We got to push back. This is just absolute. There she is. See what else they're reporting. And New York Post is saying initially she had welcomed the National Guard. Nope, that didn't last long. What? Less than 48 hours? So she told reporters yesterday she wanted to see how to make the most of the additional officer support. So the whole thing is just absolutely crazy. So then she later argued the majority of the additional federal agents' patrol radius would be limited to federal property. My expectation, though it can change. In other words, somebody else is going to tell her different. That's what that means. You've got to be able to actually understand what they're saying. So my expectation, though it can change, is that they will deploy the Guard on federal property, that properties that includes parks, monuments, federal buildings. Well, if you also are putting the National Guard in place to try to take a bite out of crime, crime's not just it's not just on federal properties. So we'll see what happens. It's early on. We'll wait and see where it goes. But it's hardly a surprise that Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser already doing a complete about face in the way that she is responding to this. And Steve is absolutely right. We tried to let you run the city. You failed miserably, so we're taking the keys away from you. That's kind of a great way to put it, Steve Reno. Okay. James Comey, this piece. This is a piece at Town Hall by Matt Vespa. He's saying that James Comey must be lawyered up by now The documents released by Tulsi Gabbard have the man neck deep in arguably a seditious conspiracy against Donald Trump. Just the news released memos regarding the FBI's internal probe into leaks. So they were reporting on matters where sensitive information was disclosed. And here they talk about it. Agents forced a stunning admission that James Comey used a special conduit to someone he knew at the New York Times in his bid to polish his own image and to push for a special prosecutor to take down Donald Trump. So he was working through someone he knew in the legacy media at the New York Times, of all places, working through that person in order to get go after Trump. The FBI concluded numerous legacy news media stories that crafted the false Russia collusion narrative contained illegally leaked classified intelligence, failed to identify who the leakers were. Agents did force a stunning admission that James Comey used this special conduit to the New York Times. And this just goes on. So the Justice Department, in the end, decided not to pursue any criminal charges against Comey or any of his lieutenants, or now Senator Adam Schiff, despite potential evidence of leaks, saying it could not be certain of who leaked what and when. So he's saying that's a whole other can of worms with Adam Schiff. He all but announced that he was going to leak classified information to smear Trump, which he absolutely did. See, I just think there are things involving Adam Schiff that really need to be looked at. We need to take a hard look at what's going on. I am really intrigued by this story, and I mentioned it on the air this morning. The announcement between Paramount and UFC. UFC is all of their shows, their properties, whatnot, will be on Paramount Plus. And so hours after Dana White announced this deal, are you excited about that? I would love to see your comments on this. For those of you who follow the UFC. Anyway, Dana White's talking about it. So he is set to travel to Washington later this month to meet with the president and his daughter, Ivanka, to catch up, discuss logistics on the 4th of July fight card next year at the White House. Trump said last month he wanted to stage a UFC match on the White House grounds with upwards of 20,000 spectators to celebrate 250 years of American independence. So I'm really curious what you think about this. It's absolutely going to happen, White said. Think about that. The 250th birthday of the United States, the UFC will be on the White House South Lawn live on CBS. So are any of you UFC fans? I'm just curious about that. That move to Paramount Plus, you've got to think is going to be a great move for the UFC, going to Paramount Plus rather than live streaming. So I'm going to leave it there for today. You made it to the end of the video. So you are part of my gallery of champions. Special salute to the Bunker Brigade. Those of you who are here each and every day, I appreciate all of you. So until tomorrow, my friends, I'm underground and gone.